everyone. Happy Tuesday. I am so excited for joining us. As you know, we normally don't go live on Tuesday, but we have something special that we're starting this month in February. It's called Agorapulse Success Stories, where we're highlighting different agencies, companies, people that have found success in their own business while utilizing our tool. And then we're going to geek out about different features, their strategies, and so much more. And I want you to bring your questions because this is going to be such a fun conversation and a break from your normal Tuesday. So just take a break from work, come over here, join us, watch us. And if you're joining us, let us know who you are, where you're watching us from, and share with us your favorite feature of Agorapulse, if you use Agorapulse. If not, a different strategy that you're trying in 2021. With that said, I want to bring in our special guest because I'm so excited. They are awesome. They're some of the coolest people I know, and they've actually just started their business last year, actually the beginning of the pandemic, and they are thriving right now. So they're going to share with us how they found success during this difficult time and some of their favorite features of Agorapulse. So I'm going to bring them on. Hey guys, how are you? And I'm actually going to pull them on full screen because that's what I do when I read people's bios. So we're going to geek out about this for a second. So this is Frank and Alyson. They met at art school in Atlanta where they both began careers in advertising. He focused on internal marketing teams with Fortune 500s, while Alyson honed her copywriting skills on ad campaigns for local businesses and national names. Throughout their careers, Frank and Alyson were frustrated by the lack of quality content that comes from the do-it-all mindset, and they knew they wanted to find a way to specialize. So they founded Social Burro, which was founded by necessity and has taken off at a running start. March is their 1-year anniversary, and they have even more big things in the works. So welcome. I am so excited you are here joining us, and I am so impressed by your story because I think when the pandemic and everything, just kind of started unraveling and businesses were shutting down, people weren't sure what was going to happen. But I know you had this dream of Social Burro before the pandemic happened. So I would love for you to just share with us, first of all, a little bit more about each of your backgrounds, and then kind of tell us why you really started Social Burro and what it took to actually make it happen.
So your background first.
Great. I have worked in advertising agencies for the last 12 years or so. I actually started while I was still in college doing our required internship, which is one of the best things the Art Institute of Atlanta ever insisted on. It definitely helps you figure out what you don't want to do, and the sooner you do that, the sooner you'll get to do the things that you do want to do. I have worked as a copywriter and have written pretty much anything you can think of. Everything from like little itty bitty tiny 10-second radio spots, which always have a place in my heart, all the way up to these massive like $1 million commercials that went out nationwide ad spend, got to do the script and talk like going through and doing all these casting lists and all this crazy cool stuff. And now I'm like, all right, so what do I actually like to do? Unfortunately, it got around to, I love this like brand building and helping people understand their why, because as a writer, I cannot do anything until I know what really matters. And I have used that as a way to kind of dig in and get in there in the social comments and start trying to make captions that work a little bit harder.
Mm-hmm. And then I finished at Art Institute and kind of got into more of like the client side of things. I did some agency work, but I definitely did more client side. So I kind of understood kind of the in-house marketing team role and kind of those struggles and everything. So I think between the two of us, we definitely kind of understand, both sides of that coin, with kind of the agency side, but also I think it helps us understand what our clients go through, because some have an internal person or team, others don't.
I love that. And I love the background. We've got Mike Alton in the house. He quoted you guys, captions that work harder. Love that approach. So Mike Alton, I don't know if you know Mike Alton, actually. He is our brand evangelist at Agorapulse, and he is an amazing blogger. He's like, his writing is incredible. Like, you could give him a topic and he could write about it and write an amazing blog post in 30 minutes. So Mike, I know. Yeah, he's that impressive, right?
Mike, that should be the next t-shirt, next Agorapulse t-shirt.
Yeah, I love that. Oh my God, I love the creativity. So share with us a little bit. So you founded Social Burro, and it was basically in March when things happened last year. So what was your strategy for growth? And,
tell them the real story?
I'll tell the story.
Okay.
So
we want the real story.
So we moved to the North Carolina mountains, and I was unemployed, and just kind of applying, and it was just too much. And just through the course of walking around a small town, you meet business owners, you meet people in the community, and you can't help, but it always comes up, well, what did you do? Or what did you used to do? Or where did you move from? Blah, blah. So marketing, and then the immediate response was, and this is always kind of weird, was, I hate social media. And I'm like, oh, okay. Like, I was talking about marketing, but it was like the first response was it was social media or social something or Facebook. Like, it was always something. So I, probably late February of 2020, I was like, all right, well, I'm hearing this over and over. I used to be an influencer for the power tool industry. I had an audience of over 90,000 collective people. So I was like, I really love it. And I always loved that engagement piece and stuff. So I was like, okay, you know what? Fine. I'm going to design something that's built for these people that serve small businesses in this community.
The part of the story that I always like to tell people is that the last week of February on a Tuesday, Frank looks at me and goes, you know what? I know it's not the right time, but God, I think I need to start a business. I want to start a business. I'm tired of being told no. I mean, we both got college degrees in marketing and tons of experience, and he got turned down for a cashier job at the Whole Foods. Now, come on. I'm like, we went this whole thing. And I said, you know what? Let's do it. Let's figure out. Let's do it. We're new here. Like, we've got a chance. Let's make it happen. He got out and literally walked up and down Main Street. And within 48 hours, just introducing himself, just saying, hey, I heard you. I want to talk to you. Like, let me know how I can help. Not a hard sell, which I was really proud of him for, because the boy can go for a hard sell. Within 48 hours, he had gotten 2 clients by walking up and down Main Street. Wow. And on that Friday, I got fired.
Oh my gosh. Oh no. All this stuff happening during the pandemic. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
But when that becomes opportunity, though, and I love that, Frank, because it's the fact of being personal and relatable. People can smell from miles away if you're trying to directly sell them something. They like put up their guard, or they're like, no. And so the fact that you were just trying to help people during this time, because it was, toward the end of March and April, we just didn't know how things were going to be.
It's so scary.
Yeah, and we offered free coaching, like just a phone call. It is fine. You don't need to charge. I'm not going to charge you for a phone call.
Yeah.
And to others out there too, like, I think I spent like $20 on some nasty little business cards, but for that Main Street walk, they were perfect.
Yeah.
I have really nice, thick, solid business cards, which I love, but I didn't need that.
Look at that edge.
From the.
Oh, I love it. Love it.
It's in there.
I didn't need that from the get-go. So it was really cool, and it was hey, we did this thing. Here's how we can help, and I think it helped a lot of people kind of understand their market now, because you have to go out and get people. These brick and mortars in small towns, they thought, oh, if we build it, people will show up. And that's not always the case.
especially when no one's allowed to go outside.
Right.
This is true. This is very true. And I have to give a couple shout outs in the audience. We have Christelle from Paris. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad you're joining us. We got someone else. And so just a quick FYI, if you're watching us on Facebook, we're using StreamYard. So you have to give them access so we can actually see who you are and your name. So let us know. They're from Italy. Social Burro, they said, is a great name, which is awesome. So yeah, Social Burro is an awesome name. We've got Lisa as well. She says hi. And we've got so many great people in the house. So, you know, I love your story and how you got started. And once you started really getting clients in business, obviously you need tools to help you succeed. I would love you to share just what came to mind when you're like, oh my gosh, we need some kind of publishing tool. Was that right off the bat, or was that a little bit down the road when you got clients and you're just like, we can't do it anymore?
Well, so at the beginning of everything, I was only behind the scenes because I was like, okay, we got to figure out how to make ends meet. I actually went and worked at a grocery store during the COVID situation.
Not Whole Foods.
It was not Whole Foods. Whole Foods wouldn't have me, and it was too far of a drive. So
you don't need Whole Foods.
Yeah. So that was remarkably stressful and quite eye-opening. So Frank was actually just hammering it. I do mean hammering it out all by himself. And it took him, I think he went through maybe 3-4 weeks of deep dive, heavy vetting. He went out and just did, like, he and I are both really into research and understanding from a user perspective, like, we love eliminating all these like micro decisions as many ways as we possibly can. And so we'll do just a deep dive, full suite across the whole thing. Give me all the info and then we'll dig in.
I think I tried at least 4 free trials.
It was awful.
Wow.
The 2-second backstory is when we first met, Alyson was a blogger for the Atlanta Convention and Visitors Bureau, and she used TweetDeck. And I think it was just for my own stuff, but I was using Hootsuite. So we were both familiar with those sort of management tools. So that decision was an easy one. I was like, I knew if I'm going to manage more than like 2, I'm going to need a tool. So I signed up for every free trial like that I could.
Yeah.
And, there were several things that Agorapulse, had that edged everybody else out. Some was a user interface perspective. Some was an actual structure perspective. I went into a few details and key differentiators, but yeah, I mean, it was a big decision, and it was also a decision that I wanted to make right from the get-go because I hate having to do new things and switch it up in the middle.
Yeah.
So I wanted to pick one product and just go with it.
So would you recommend for businesses and agencies when they're first getting started within the first couple of months to figure out their tools for kind of everything, not just social media publishing, but for everything they use, so they've got it set and ready to go and they're not trying to add everything to it in the middle?
I would say before you order business cards, figure out your tech stack first.
Yep.
Yes. Yeah. I love that. Oh, that's such great advice. So I love that you guys actually came up with a presentation that I'm going to share. And I would love for you to just geek out with us a little bit about, some of the things that you love and you find really critical when it comes to different features that we offer, because every tool, there's so many unique features in it. And sometimes people don't utilize a tool to the max until they really know, oh, wow, it can do this, it can do that. So I would love to know what you found success in with our tool and why you love whatever it is so much. And I'll let you guys have, the screen and you guys can run through it. I'll be on the back end. Just let me know when you want me to move a slide forward.
Sure.
Oh, cool.
No worries.
Awesome.
So this is us, and this is where we are and what we're doing.
Yeah. So I wanted to just kind of be short and sweet, but the things that we really love is the Agency Love Facebook group. Got to give a shout out to Deb. She does a fantastic, amazing job on
Absolutely.
that. It's just a really great resource for Agorapulse users to kind of ask questions, get feedback, things like that, and talk to other people that are using the tool.
I love that.
Support and openness. Y'all have always been there for me every step of the way, and I always feel like I can talk to everybody from the new guy all the way to the CEO, and there's never any of this like cloak and dagger stuff. It's very nice, and it makes me feel like part of the family.
We got to give a shout out to Samia. She is always there for us, man. Any like random idea and like, why can't I make this work? She's so great. And if you guys aren't reaching out to your product managers and asking them questions, like, y'all got to get on that.
Yeah,
it'll make it so much easier.
Of them.
Oh my gosh, I love that. And I'm going to do just a quick chime in because thank you so much for saying that. And if you use Agorapulse and you're an agency, we do have Agency Love, which is our special program and Facebook group. And you can learn more about it. You can message support. And I'm going to share some more information at the end of this so you can see how you can actually join in on all the fun too. And it's a great resource. And I love that. So... yeah.
Multi-platform customization. So y'all were one of the things that I loved right out of the gate was I can edit multiple platforms in one window. That just it saves me a step. It saves me time, and I'm all about that. That has helped us a lot. And then probably the last thing that was really huge for me was customization. When I was going through the free trials, I can't tell you how many companies were unwilling to make small tweaks and edits for my needs and for my current situation. So many were like, this is the product, this is it. You either buy it or you don't, and you can go home. I really appreciate that, y'all had, a few a la carte options. You did have packages, which is a great start and kind of helps me. But other times, I need to add a little bit here or take away a little bit there. And that was really helpful. It made me feel like you heard me, and it made me feel like, this is a tool that I can grow with long term.
Oh my gosh, I love that. And we are here to help you streamline your business. And it's funny because our support team, they're hilarious. They're amazing. They're so clever and creative, and they truly care about your situation and want to help, and usually don't stop until it's fixed. Like we'll have different kinds of Slack conversations if there's a problem that one of us can't solve to make sure we find the best solution for you. So that warms my heart and makes me so happy. And we love you guys and just everything that you're doing and the agency that you started and just your values for what Social Burro is, and that you just really truly care and you want to help people, which we absolutely love.
100%.
Yeah.
So one of my favorite things are groups. Groups just make it easy. And I know I've heard from a few people on the team and in the Facebook group that some people don't use them as often. They just have a giant list, and I'm like, I can't function that way. So I showed kind of two examples. The one on the left is ours, and it just kind of shows you how we have 4 platforms that we post to. The example on the right, I really love talking about, when it comes to this, because we have one client that has 19 facilities and 19 pages.
And they add 2 more every year.
Yeah, so. And they grow every year. It's a healthcare organization. Well, they have like regional directors or regional managers. They break them out into groups. Mm-hmm. So now their groups are our groups. So when we send out a report, they can look at, their coastal region and our coastal region. Like it's perfect. It lines up with their business. So that's a huge help for everybody.
Well, and when the reports go out, they can see what regions are what content is working for which regions, where they need to step up a little bit. And it really makes it a lot easier for us to have those kind of sometimes weird qualitative marketing conversations with, you're talking about people's lives here.
Yeah.
And people's loved ones, but you have to put numbers to it to justify being in business, right? So we have really found a way to make this useful for both us and them. And at the end of the day, we're doing it for our clients, and anything that Agorapulse helps us do helps out them as well.
And you know what? I don't know if everyone, it may be a feature that potentially is overlooked. I love groups. Since we're a global company, we have it for all of our different regions, different countries, like all clustered, with all the individual groups and everything. But without groups, it's hard. Like I can't imagine managing.
I couldn't function.
Right?
Next slide this one is close to me. So, so queues are awesome. Unlike scheduling, which is, picking the exact date, time, and everything, queues are nice because sometimes I just have a bank of content, or I have someone in a routine schedule, and I just need to bulk upload and go. Top right is an example of like kind of massive queues on queues. This is for an editorial client, so they have regular content, they have shared content, which would be like from an advertiser or like a special event or something, and then the yellow is like special news, so like something that is like time sensitive or something, so you see those are every day,
like an event or a promotion,
right? And then the two big ones, I really wanted to include these because this is really cool. So thanks to reports and everything, we obviously know our best days and times. Well, this is for the same client, but as you can tell, their best day and time is different by platform. So it's all the same queue, like it's the default queue, but for two different platforms, their queues switch. There's a little bit of overlap, but like Wednesday and Thursday flop. This means we can schedule the same 4 pieces of content on 2 different platforms, but we know it's going to hit right at the right time because of the queues.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I love this so much, and how you, everything works together, right? The reporting, you can figure out the right times to post, then you utilize that in queues, and also listening is something that you can throw in the mix there as well. But Alyson, I think you were about to say something.
Oh, yeah. And so we go through our reports every single month at the end of the month, and then our queues get updated with that information every single month. Like, this is February by week. So there's no way I can remember all of that. So without these queues, we're looking at 53 profiles, I think, and at least 4 pieces of content per profile. Like, that's a ton of content. And having this setup has really helped, because I had a crash course to get up to speed and start producing the content, and it's been really good.
And I like your workflow, because I think a lot of agencies, when they start out, they're very successful. They have all these clients, and then like, oh my gosh, oh crap, right? Like, we actually have to produce the content and have it in an organized fashion. And you guys have done that so well, so successfully with the groups, what matters together with the same clients, and with different healthcare facilities, like you said, clustering those together as well as needed and tailoring it to the agency's needs. And then along with that, you're looking at the power reports that we have, which is amazing. If you're not utilizing them, you need to, because like you said before, Frank, you can customize them. But the fact of looking at reporting, no matter what tool you use or what you do, every agency, social media manager needs to look at their reporting at the end of the week, at the end of the month, and understand, okay, what times work best for each different platform, and adjust the strategy. If you're not doing that at all, you need to be. But the way you're using the tool, our tool, Agorapulse, is amazing and incredible, and it's so simple and easy, and you just have to make time to do it. So I love that.
And then next should be, this is just a nice mention that I really like. And in full disclosure, I recently did this not because of laziness, but just because it really started to come up a lot lately. So connecting the ad accounts, that's a nice little integration. It's easy. You're already logged in, so it's really easy. It just pulls it up. So that's really cool, and I really like having that.
Awesome.
That expired a couple of days ago, and we had a whole minute.
Yeah. Now, I cannot express to you how much I love labels. So to the degree that it is mildly annoying, but I love labels, and I think this is something that is, as social media managers, kind of like I was talking about the 5 regions for that healthcare client, always thinking about what your client wants to see. So we tag every piece of outgoing content. So this is our publishing chart of all the labels, and then right behind it, we can show the client, these are the best labels to use and why. So you can see it's a little small, but you can see I sorted that one by reached users. So, actual eyes on the content. So now I can tell you exactly, like, look, we posted, 2% I think behind the scenes. So 10.5% last month. Well, that got the most reached users piece of content. And so now we can go to the client, or they can see for themselves, okay, we need to find a little bit more of that. Maybe if they're helping us with content, they shoot some of those pictures or whatever.
It really helps me when we're having the conversation about content strategy, because, especially when we're small business dealing with other small businesses, and when you are the business owner, it's really close to you, right? And so it's kind of hard to step back and go, well, I'm really interested in blank, but my audience might not be. So instead of having to continually fight that battle, we use the labels in all honesty and be like, absolutely, totally cool. Our best recommendation is going to be blank, blank, and blank content. We know you want to hear some more about your 2 favorite things, so we're going to put them all in there, and then we'll see what works the best. Sometimes they're right. Most of the time we're right.
I love that, though. A way of just proving, why something needs to work or why you need to do something that way. So I love that. It's so really amazing.
Well, it's like, so if we're using this client as an example, I think it's also, as in the world of social, it's not just what works, but also what's not working.
Yes.
So, you can see here, we posted 15.8% for climbing. It's an outdoor brand, so, and they like to climb, so we kind of focus on that. But if you kind of look over on the right, it didn't do squat.
It didn't even make it in the top.
It didn't even make it in the top 5. So maybe that's an area where either we trash it or we try to create some more engaging content around that vertical, and then we try it again.
And the solution that we have for this particular client, because they do really like to climb, and they have part of their business model is working with retail partners. We said, tell you what, go to that climbing gym that you really want to get into, like, buy your day pass, do whatever, and record yourself and put that on stories so that we can start helping you promote it. That way it's not junking up the feed and we don't have to look at it, but also it helps them get out there. It creates some urgency and excitement, and they start to understand why it's important for them to still be invested in our content, because one of the things that's extremely important to Frank and I is making sure that they don't feel like we're taking their brand away from them. Like, that's not what we want to do at all. We've got our own brand to deal with, man. It's been really cool and interesting to see just how different putting it in this little color wheel helps.
Yeah.
Well, no, and I love that. And I think a lot of agency owners run into that situation where, the client that you have, they're passionate about this. They're like, no, it's going to work. We're going to do this or we're going to do that, but you're not getting the results. And so trying to find that happy medium, because you want to make them happy, but also you want them to be successful. So trying to marry the two together, which utilizing labels and just our reporting and everything allows you to see, okay, look, we understand you like this, we tried this, but clearly, it's not as successful, but let's still incorporate it in a different way. And I love your idea, Alyson, of stories, and it was maybe both of your ideas, but I love that, where you're still making your client happy and they're still putting that climbing content out there, but just in a different way. And that's what you're constantly doing, right? As an agency, trying to make your clients happy is you're tweaking constantly. So I love that so much. That's so awesome.
It's a little bit of tough love sometimes.
Yeah.
But, and this is just what works for us, but it's kind of a happy medium that we've identified is we still have our clients be responsible for stories.
Yeah.
We will occasionally post the stories, but by kind of giving them that, they still feel connected to it. Mm-hmm. And I think that's always something that we want to do, because like Alyson said, we don't want to take it away from them, but the feed needs to be more curated than stories. Stories, you can talk about what you had for lunch, your puppy, and, this cool rock all at the same time.
Selfishly, the other thing that Frank and I have to think about, you're looking at the grand sum of the workforce here for Social Burro. So when we're trying to understand, like, okay, what kind of content performs, what kind of content makes sense, a story disappears in 24 hours. If it takes us 2 hours to make this post, and I would say I'm all thumbs when it comes to putting together stories, but you actually need those for this. Like, I am inept at I'm trying to do my own, and it's just a hot mess, and everything keeps sliding all over the place, and nothing can be locked. Mm-hmm. But they love doing that, and I'm like, fantastic, great. Because a lot of the conversation that came to us was, well, I just don't know what to post. Well, I don't know. I want it to look good, but I don't know.
Throw it in stories.
Slap that stuff in the stories. And really annoyingly, between us friends, a lot of the times the stories get better engagement than some of the posts. And I'm like,
yeah, no, but
we can take that type of content and put it into the feed, and it'll get reaction.
Yeah, which is pretty cool. It's kind of a good way to hack it, actually.
I love that. And you know what? A lot of people have been finding that their stories are getting twice, if not 3 times the engagement as the feed posts. So
I think there's sorcery going on.
Yeah. Oh my God. I love that, though. You guys are so amazing. And so, Frank and Alyson, I just have to say thank you for actually taking a deep dive and kind of explaining some of, the work process, the different features you use, and how you're finding success in talking to your clients, because being able to be personable and talking to your clients is so important, because they're not going to, keep hiring you if you're not tweaking things and not that they feel listened. They need to feel listened. So like you're listening to them. So I love that. This is how to reach out to Frank and Alyson. If you have questions, you want to hire them because they're absolutely brilliant, you can email them at herd@socialburro.com. You can follow them at Social Burro on all the social channels. You can even call them as well. But I just have to say, both of you are brilliant. You're absolutely amazing. I'm so impressed by everything you've done. And I think everyone, all the agencies out there, because this is Live in Agency Love, have taken some really good advice and tips from this. And everyone within Agorapulse are loving this, and the fact of how you are using these features to help your clients and, to make the workflow better and everything else. So I just have to say, both of you are just awesome. You're so amazing. And I would love for you to share, what is the future of Social Burro? What would you like to do now that you've mastered this? Like, what are your bigger
So like Alyson said, our 1-year anniversary is coming up on March 20th. Mm-hmm. And to all agencies, large and small out there, the one thing that I will just say is, stick to your guns. Mm-hmm. We have policies in place that we don't stick to. We stay to our values, and that's it. We started with 4 profiles, I think. I told my rep at the time, Jacob, if you're watching, you're awesome. And he's like, how many profiles do you need? I was like, ooh, man, like with breathing room, like 10. And now we're like over 50. So,
that's amazing.
I think that's kind of, what we do. And then, I think maybe just bigger impact stuff. Mm-hmm. I mean, we have a few RFPs out there, and there's some interesting like retail and commercial developments and stuff. So
my ad agency brain is starting to scratch a little bit now, because it's been we moved up here a little over about 1.5 years ago, and so I've been working here and doing contract work and stuff like that, but I haven't been in that mix and like in a war room and just getting in it. And I want to do something with Spotify so bad I cannot stand myself. Yeah. We actually just put together an RFP last night that included it. Nice. And I hate the acronym RFP, but it's okay because Spotify.
Oh my God.
So if you know anybody at Spotify, shoot us an email.
If y'all know anybody at Java Monster, send them our way. We go through these things. Normal people have a beer fridge. We have a coffee fridge.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I love that. And they sent me some, I should have brought it over, some of their Social Burro coffee, and it'll give you a kick in the rear end. It'll wake you up. It'll be like, wow, you're there.
We don't mess around.
No, we don't play.
Yeah.
2 thoughts a day.
Yeah.
On an easy day. It's too fun.
Oh my God, it's amazing. And so really quick for our agency friends, what were the 2 or 3 biggest learnings from your process of starting your agency to now? Like, would you have done something differently? And what advice do you have for agency owners that may be struggling, they're feeling overwhelmed? How do you combat that?
So I've got a whole list. That was my highlight on our questions.
Yeah.
So I will to give you guys a little bit of a background. Like, obviously, a lot of what I've done has come from the brand development side of things and the strategy and understanding. So I think it was the weekend after New Year's, he and I got home from traveling and stuff, only to family, very safe, nothing big. And we sat down all day long and went through a deep dive strategy session, figured out our brand values, our why, our positioning statement. I took an amazing class, 2 amazing classes, one from Demi Katsoros over in Australia, actually, and then one from Fat Chaim, I think I said his last name correctly. I found him through General Assembly, and they just really understood what we were trying to do with the brand story side of things. And we were able to elevate those things, and we'll add the links to them if you guys need them when we're done. And I would say our biggest tip for making sure that what you're doing sticks is to just be honest with yourself. Like, we actually had an incident yesterday morning where we had our values tested. And Frank handled it very well, and I was extremely proud of him, because it would have been really easy to just kind of tuck tail and apologize. And first of all, we didn't have nothing to apologize for. Second of all, don't come at me like that. But
yeah.
He handled it really well, and I'm so proud of him.
I had to pick up the phone.
Yeah, somebody thought they were going to get smart over an email, and that didn't work out.
Yeah.
But I would say the biggest thing, especially if you guys are struggling, to keep in mind is that you are never going to lose business by saying no. And I know that feels weird, and it feels super scary, especially when we're in a pandemic and you're looking at your wife or your significant other and your dog and going, I know you need food, but...
Yeah.
If you overcommit your teams, but you underdeliver to your existing clients, that's how you lose business. Yeah. It's not because you said no.
Yeah.
You can have all the tools and things in place you want to, but if you can't deliver, they hired you. They didn't hire your tools.
Right.
That's true. That's very true.
And we've had to talk about that a lot. Mm-hmm. And it's we share the smallest room in the house for our office, but a lot of times we'll be on the couch having those hard talks in the middle of the night after, like, okay, what do we do here?
Yeah. I would say, like, stick to your guns.
Yeah.
We, just something for Social Burro, we have 12-month retainer contracts. Mm-hmm. The 2 times that we have flexed those rules.
Broken rules.
We broke them.
We ignored ourselves. Broke the rules.
It has bitten us in the butt both times.
Horrible.
So stick to your guns. If you got a way, or if you got a thing, stick to it and don't break it.
Mm-hmm. I love that.
Another thing that I would definitely encourage you guys to do, which Frank will probably laugh that I wrote it down on my list, because it's something that I'm still having to learn myself, is to invest in yourself. And I don't mean that in like the super duper woo woo kind of way. Like, yes, of course, like, you want to feel good and be good and make proper decisions and be smart. But I'm literally talking about buying things that make your workday better. Because at the end of the day, you're the one doing it. That's it. There is no, oh, well, Sally over in wherever accounting forgot to do blank. Like, no, it's on you. It's you. So we spent more money than I care to mention on 2 sets of double stacked anti-fatigue mats, because we have standing desks, and all day long we stand here. And I looked at Frank and I'm like, I'm sorry, you want to spend what on a piece of rubber foam? He put them together and I was like, oh man. Oh. I asked for a standing desk for years from various employers, and it took working from home in my own house to get one.
Wow.
But
I love it.
You can't do the work if you're not comfortable doing the work.
That's true.
Physically comfortable.
Yep. And that goes for like a good pair of headphones, because I love them. But my God, we both talk so much. Sometimes you got to put on those big situations and just block it all out so that you can hammer out content.
Yeah.
And selfishly, we do keep a mega stash of coffee.
That too.
But there's nothing wrong with that. And whether you count it as a business expense or whatever, like anything that helps you get it done is going to be worth its weight in, I would say gold, but I don't know how much it's worth right now.
Yeah, a lot.
I love that.
And then I think if there is, kind of like Frank said, stick to your guns. And, one of the values that we come up with is that we are makers, not mimics. And, I mean, look at this situation. I'm not going for the standard operating procedure here. Frank's got tons of awesome tattoos and everything. Like, you can tell by looking, like, we're not here for the standard activities. But one of the things that we always want to make sure of is that we are never too big for coffee whether physically, as a company, as, fiscally, but also just mentally. Like, he got started by walking up and down Main Street. We have to keep that in here so that we don't ever lose that human connection.
Right.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I love that. Alyson, like, these are gold tips. It's okay to say no. And I think, like, everyone's like, okay, I need the money. We need this. But, if it's going to make your life miserable and cause other clients' work and everything to not be as great, then say no. Saying no is such a powerful thing that I've finally gotten used to the past couple of years. But it's
struggle.
It sounds great to say out loud. And I truly did write it down on my piece of paper. It is a hard thing to get used to doing and believing. And let me tell you, I am, like, my superpower is overthinking things.
It's really hard because when somebody is actively, we've had some people not beating down the door, but like, we have had people that, like, here, take my money right now, today, I will sign something. Here's money.
Yeah.
So look at them and tell them no. It is kind of hard, but
if it doesn't make sense, it doesn't make sense. And that's where knowing your values and sticking to your guns come from. At the end of the day, we want to be small for small.
Yeah.
If what we're doing takes time, if someone's asking us to take time away from our small business clients who, I won't say are struggling, but, global pandemic happened.
They need more help than the big boys right now.
They need help. They need support, and they need somebody to hear them. And I don't ever want to miss a call from one of those guys just because, I got to bang out something over here real quick. Yeah, I'll call you back. And then and it never happens.
Yeah.
We don't want to do that.
Exactly. And I love that you're keeping the humanity. You're being human, you're staying human, and you're staying yourself and what you stand for. And you're not sacrificing who you are individually and as a company, to do something else. But I love the human aspect of it. Like, just the walking down Main Street. You need to get, like, a photo of Frank walking down Main Street and get it painted or something, and just be like, this is where it all started or something.
We actually got
if anybody can knock that out, I'll send you a candid shot. Let me know.
We actually got some stickers. It's kind of something that we say here and for us, but, like, we actually got stickers made because I just thought it was something that we need to remind ourselves of. But we put local back in social.
Yes I love that.
One of those things that, like, you really got to understand that it's not just like, you put it on Facebook and there it goes. Like, there is a human behind the brand. I don't care how big it is. If you're Coke or if you're, like, John's Mini Mart, there's a person behind it. And then you are still talking to someone in the local community, even if you are Coca-Cola, so just keep, put that local back in social.
I love that. Oh my gosh, so much. And as someone else just said, consistency is key as well. So much great. Lisa's watching us. She's like, lesson learned for sure from all the stories. You guys have shared so much. And hopefully those that are listening and working at the same time, those that are going to watch this on replay are just going to understand, maybe reevaluate everything. And before you start a business, you want to understand your goals, your values, and why you're even starting it. If there's not a reason, if it doesn't bring you happiness, or even helping others, then why are you doing it? So I am so impressed by both of you. And I know all of us here at Agorapulse can't wait to see what you guys do in the next 6 months, let alone years to come. The sky is the limit for you and beyond. And I just have to say a big hearty thank you for just taking time out of your busy schedules, because I know you have to copyright and get all this stuff done for clients. And the fact that you prepped this presentation, you wrote down all your notes, Alyson, and just both of you just shared your time with us. Like, time is so valuable. So I just have to say thank you so much. You both are absolutely amazing. This is Agency Love. I'm going to just bring this on screen really quick. It's our agency. If you want to learn more about it, go to agorapulse.com/agency-program, and you're going to understand all the different things about it. Along with that, we are all about helping people. We also have our free Facebook group, which is Social Pulse Community. You don't have to use our tool. Anybody can join this. And it's a group where community managers, social media managers, agency owners can come, collectively come together, share the latest news. If you want to brainstorm something or you just have a question, ask it in the group. It's a safe place. We want it to be somewhere where we know that there's a lot of one-man bands out there, social media managers that don't have someone to bounce ideas off of. So do that within the group. It's a safe, fun place. It's absolutely awesome. We actually just started a book club within that as well, and we're going to have our first live next Thursday. Last but not least, we have our free Social Pulse Summit, Instagram edition. This is completely free. This is next Wednesday. And the great thing is, if you're really busy like Social Burro is, and you've got that agency and you're like, I can't take the day off, guys, to do this, that's okay, because guess what? You register, and once you're registered, you have access to all of these presentations, 30 plus presentations for 30 days. And this is focusing completely in on Instagram. So if you have a question about a specific feature, there's going to be a talk about it and then some. So this is completely free. We want to help you out. We want to help you grow and thrive. That's our number one goal. And last but not least, if you are a Agorapulse customer, that's totally okay. But we think we would be pretty awesome in your lives and make it better. So grab a free trial and a demo. Go to agorapulse.com/SM-inquiry, and we will just set you up, get you started, and kind of geek out with you about everything. But with that said, special mega shout out to Alyson, to Frank. Give them a virtual round of applause because they're amazing. We love you. And you're absolutely brilliant, and you know how to reach them. Social Burro on all the social channels made it very easy for us. You both are amazing. I hope everyone has an incredible rest of your Tuesday, an amazing rest of your week. And if you ever need us, just let us know. Just ping us on social media. If you have a support question, ping us within the app, and we're more than happy to help you anytime, 24/7. With that said, have a great one. Bye, everyone. Bye.